The silence in Oak Haven wasn't the peaceful kind. It was heavy, like a wet wool blanket pressed against the face. Jake sat on his porch, staring at the empty street. It had been 4 days since the pulse. That's what he called the shimmering distortion in the air that had rippled through the town at noon on a Tuesday. In that single vibrating second, every heart but his had simply stopped. He'd seen his neighbor, Mr. Henderson, drop mid-sentence while watering his lawn. He'd found his sister slumped over a half-finished crossword puzzle, her pen trailing off into a long, ink-bled line across the page. There was no blood, no struggle, just a sudden, collective departure. Jake should have been terrified, but the terror had been replaced by a local, buzzing static in the back of his skull. He was the only one left, and he was beginning to realize why. On the 5th day, the shadows started acting wrong. He noticed it in the kitchen. The sun was high, but the shadow of the refrigerator didn't stretch toward the wall. It reached toward him. It crept across the linoleum like spilled oil, defying the overhead light. "I'm still here," Jake whispered, his voice cracking from disuse. The shadow twitched. Then, from the hallway, he heard a sound that made his breath hitch, the unmistakable clicking of claws on hardwood. "Daisy?" he called out, a desperate hope surging in his chest. He hadn't seen his dog since the pulse. He'd assumed she was gone like the rest. A shape rounded the corner. It was the size of a large dog, but the proportions were nightmare warped. It moved with too many joints. Its skin the color of bruised plum. Where a face should have been, there was only a smooth, pale membrane that pulsed in time with the static in Jake's head. The thing stopped a few feet away. It didn't attack. It simply leaned its head to the side, mimicking the curious tilt of a loyal pet. Then the air shifted. The static in Jake's mind coalesced into a voice, not a sound, but a cold realization. The harvest was perfect. The thought echoed. Every soul accounted for, except the anchor. Jake looked at his hands. They were becoming translucent, the veins beneath the skin glowing with the faint, sickly violet light. He wasn't a survivor, he was the marker, the lighthouse left behind to guide the others into this newly emptied world. Outside, the empty streets began to fill, not with people, but with thousands of those pale, faceless shapes, all turning their sightless heads toward the porch. They weren't coming to kill him. They were coming to be fed, and as Jake's skin began to flake away into shimmering dust, he realized he was the only meal left on the menu.